Hey everyone, I'm back. It's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's time for another 2-Minute Tuesday. And keeping in the theme of last week's video, I want to talk a little bit more about effects, but specifically, I want to talk about notch effects and using notch in your projects. So if you're not aware of what notch is, it's an application where you can build, generate all sorts of crazy scenes, different effects to add on top of incoming image. You can render out new videos from it. You can do a whole load of things, and I encourage you to go check out Notch's site. We'll have a link down in the description of where you can go and see what kind of stuff they do. But when we're talking about media servers, our integration with Notch tends to be more of a manipulative effect or generating things on the fly so that you don't have to render your content, but you can still make modifications to it in real time. So these are things that go above and beyond the standard effects that you would find in Hippo, things like skeletal tracking, or maybe being able to highlight a drummer. So as they're drumming, the faster they're going, the faster the flames are shooting out from the end of their drumsticks. Crazy things like that. And pretty much with Notch and Hippo together, you're able to do more or less whatever you want. You can kind of make your creative vision come to life and kind of bend the rules of what's possible. So yeah, I just wanted to show you how to get started with that, and actually tell you that getting started with Notch and Hippo is super easy because we actually ship all of the Hippo hardware with a V4 specialized block to kind of get you into the world of Notch, to see what some of the possibilities are and kind of spark that creative passion. So yeah, let's go ahead and get stuck into it and see what we can learn this week. So here I am in the mixes page, and right away I'm already just playing some content, but I just want to show you the two kind of applications of where we can put Notch. The first is actually on a layer, so I can use it to affect the content that's on a layer. And to do that, there's these tabs, these two tabs here. The first one being the Notch setup, and all I have to do is select a block from this list. I have a bunch of them from testing over the years and different various projects that I've worked on. But once I've selected the block that I want to show you guys, this V4 plus stock block, the next thing I need to do is select one of the effects or one of the layers inside of this Notch block that I want to run. And once I've done that, I can just turn off this bypass, and you can see on our output right here, it's already affecting what's going on. So in this V4 stock block, we have 4 different interesting, unique IMAG effects to kind of edit, manipulate, and change what you're seeing coming through the system. And with each of these IMAG effects, there's also parameters to adjust any of these things. So I can do very basic things like changing the hue, the glow, the amount of lines that are here. And actually, this one's a really cool one. There's some rings that are popping up, and these are actually detecting motion and can actually, when you have a more full body shot, you'll be able to see it, but you can actually kind of track people with it and appendages and things like that. So it's a really cool thing that goes above and beyond our really standard effects inside of Hippo. So I encourage you to have a look at what these IMAG effects do. But also down in the block, we have some examples of a generative content. And so there are 2 here that are interactive floor tiles. And what this is we're generating a scene where this could be something like an LED floor. And we could tie these X and Y pins to a tracker. And as they move, the tiles actually flip and rotate under a person. So you could do really cool interactive things like this. Or you could even use it to just generate full-on scenes. So like there's a trails here, and all of these lines, these squiggles, are being generated in real time. Again, this isn't a video that we're modifying the playback of. Think of it like a video game. We are actually interacting with these objects in real time to make creative, cool looks. So I can just change these parameters, and all of a sudden I have a new kind of fresh take on the quote unquote content that we're playing. So there's a whole bunch of stuff like this, like trails. There's a tunnel that you can edit and modify and do crazy things with. So yeah, I highly encourage you check out this V4 plus stock block. The other way that we can use Notch in Hippo is actually, if I change this here back to IMAG again, if I come, actually I'm going to bypass it on the layer, so I'm not using it on the layer. And the other way to use it is actually to make a separate mix. So we can make a notch mix. And the reason to do this is on the layer, we're limited to 10 parameters for the notch block. But if you need more parameters, using a notch mix is a great alternative because we actually allow you to open up those parameters, give yourself more, and also some different types. You can have some more text inputs, you can have way more float pins, and you can actually bring in many more textures, so many more resources into that notch block to then turn around and make that composite cool. So you can see on the notch mix here, I have an input, and if I bypass this same effect, you'll notice that the same effect is now happening on my output as well. So tons of different ways to go about creating and editing your content with these notch blocks. And again, we tend to use all of this stuff together in really creative ways to make cool, unique looks that might not otherwise be possible. So again, we'll have some links in the description on pointing you towards our friends at Notch, so you can go check them out, see what they do, as well as a link to the manual on how to get yourself set up with a notch mix and add more parameters if you need that sort of thing, and where to put notch blocks if you have any of your own that you want to give it a test. But I hope this week was informative and kind of cool. Maybe showed you something you're not used to working with. And again, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll be back next week to show you something cool. Cheers. Bye.